lecture today. So today we will be studying about operators. So basically, operator is something that is used to operate on some functions or some codes in Python. So in Python, operator basically does some basic kind of functions like arithmetic functions or whatever different kind of functions that you want the Python to provide you. So there are different kind of operators that Python has, some basic inbuilt operators. For example, these are arithmetic operators, relational operators or assignment operators. Then we have an assignment operators, which is almost similar to that of the relational as well. We have logical operators, membership operators, and identity operators. So you'll be seeing each one of them individually. So first is your arithmetic operators. So as you all know, by the name it suggests what it will contain. So arithmetic operators consist all of those operations which is totally dedicated to your arithmetic functions like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, whatever it is, right? So we'll quickly see what are the basic arithmetic operations that you can perform here. So for that, let's say I have two numbers. So I am storing those integer values in a variable. So let's say A has a value of 10. Let's say B has a value of 20. So the very first and the basic arithmetic operation is the addition. You can just write A plus B, and then you can just print it, and it will give you the corresponding result as 30, right? Then you can, in the similar way, you can do subtraction as well. Print B minus A, and it will give you the result as 10, right? You can do multiplication as well, right? A star B or B star A, doesn't matter. You run it, it will give you the answer as 200, right? Now we have already studied about division as well. So you can divide it. For example, if I write B divided by A, so what should I expect in the answer? In the answer, would I get a floating point answer or will I get an integer answer?
Integer answer.
Okay. So everyone agrees with the integer answer?
सर वो एक्चुअली
No.
फॉरवर्ड स्लैश
It
लगाने
will give a
पड़ेंगे
floating.
इंटीजर
Right. So because on that day only I told you, right, when you do a normal division, so in division Python basically understands that the user is asking me for a division, so I'll give them a like a direct answer or a very accurate answer. So that's why it provides you with a decimal version as well, because sometimes in division you have a decimal point value as well. Let's say 5 divided by 2, then it says 2.5. So in that way Python will give you a floating point answer, it's 2.0. But if you want to get like a perfect integer value, you just have to write another slash, which is also known as floor division, right? Or integer division also. So it'll give you 2, right? So basically what also this does is it won't give you the answer that comes after decimal. So it'll only give you those answers which comes before decimal. So for that you can write double stroke, and if you want an accurate or exact answer, you just have to follow the division as well, right? The next thing and the very important thing also which is there in Python is, let's say I have a number here, a equals to, I define it as 2, right? And I want to print the power of 2, let's say 2 raised to the power of something. So how would you do it? If I just write a single star and I write it 2, what Python senses here is that Python understands that, okay, the user is asking me to multiply whatever the value A has with that of 2. So it will do the multiplication like 2 into 2, right? Or let's say I write here 3. So it will give me the answer as 6, like 2 into 3. It will take the value of A, that is 2, and it will multiply it with 3. So it will give me the value of 6. But what if you want the cube root of 2, let's say? So for that, you just have to add another star here. So double star basically means whatever value you are giving here to the variable, it goes to the power of that variable. So what Python will do is that first it will take the value of that variable. So A stores the value of 2. So it will take 2, and double star means Python understands that, okay, the user is asking me to do the power of 2. So what should be the power of 2? And the option, the user has given me the value of 3. So it will do 2 raised to the power of 3. So the output here that I will get will be 8, and 2 cube is 8. So in a similar way, you can perform various kind of like an exponential systems like A raised to the power of 10, That means 2 raised to the power of 10. So it will give you the corresponding result 1022, right? So double star basically stands for your exponential power, right? In the same way, another function is there, which is also termed as a modulus. So let's say I define A as let's say 50, and I define B as let's say 30, right? And I print A modulus B, right? So what this modulus does is that it will give me 20. So can someone tell me how this 20 came here?
सर वो रिमाइंडर है एक्चुअली शायद वो रिमाइंडर जो बच जा
Right, right. Right. So basically the modulus function gives you the remainder, right? So this is the basic difference between a modulus and a division. So the division will give you the quotient, but the modulus will give you a remainder. So just keep this thing in mind. It's really important, right? Sometimes people confuse modulus with a division as well. So keep this thing in mind. A division will give you a quotient and modulus will give you a remainder here, right? So when you divide 50 by 30, so the remainder is 20, right? So that is what the Python will give you. Right. So these are the very basic arithmetic operations that people use. So does anyone have any issue up until now?
सर
Okay. So next we'll be going to what is known as your relational operators. So what relational operator does is it relates two you are using the terms that you're using on the left hand and the right hand side of your operator is known as an operand.
Sir, can you please repeat?
Okay, so what happens is let's say so we are basically learning our operators, right? So these things, the equal to sign or this modulus or the division or multiplication or subtraction, whatever arithmetic operators or relational operators that you will be using, so these things are called as the operators, right? The equal to sign or plus sign or minus sign, multiplication, not equal to, these are all called as the operators. And whatever you write on the left hand side here and on the right hand side of an operator is called as the operands, right? So operand can be a variable, like here it can be an integer value, it can be a floating point, it can be a string, it can be anything, right? So whatever you write on the left hand and the right hand side of an operator is called as the operand, and whatever you are using to relate these two operands together is called as the operator, basically the thing that will be running its function, right? So the next thing that we'll be studying about is known as a relational operator. So as the name suggests, it will be giving you a relation between two operands. So these relation can be of any types. So the very first relational operator is known as equal to equal to. So what this equal to means is that if the value of any two operands are together, the condition becomes true. That means if I have, let's say here, a equals to, I've given us used a variable a, I've given it a value of let's say 10, right? I've taken another variable b and I've given it a value of 20, right? So we know that the value of a and b are different, right? B is 20, a is 10, and a is not equal to b. But what if, let's say, we change the value of b to 10 again? Now we know that a and b both have the same value as 10, but Python doesn't recognize it as of now, until and unless you give it the function to print the exact relation between these two variables, that is a and b. So what you will do is that you will just write print a equals to b. So what this equals to mean is that you are comparing the two values of these variables, whether they are equal or not. Now the output in this sense, what happens is the Python will give you basically two kind of output, either true or false. So if both the values of a and b are equal, Python will give you true, right? That means whatever you are comparing has equal values. And if both of the values of a and b are different, and if you're comparing it, then Python will give you a statement called as false. That means whatever you're comparing doesn't have the same value at all. So if I write print a equals to b, it gives me true. That means both the values of a and b are same. Let's say we change the value of b to 20. And if I write print a equals to b, we know that both of these values are not same. So Python will give us the result as false. That means whatever you are comparing, A and B, both of them have different value. They don't have the same value at all. So this is how an equal to operator works. Okay. The next is what is known as not equal to, which is given by the sign of exclamation mark followed by an equal to sign. So let's say here we know we have given a value of a is equals to 10 and b equals to 20, and we write a equal to b, let's say. So we know that for this the Python will give us a value as false because both of them are not similar. But let's say we write a is not equal to b. So we know that this is true. A is obviously not equal to b, right? And when we run it, so the obvious answer that Python will give will be true, because a is not equal to b, and that is what we want as well. So Python recognizes this. So not equal to is written as exclamation mark followed by an equal to sign, right? Let's say if I make the values of a and b same, let's say we write the values of a and b as 10, and if I print the function again, a not equal to b, so here we know that a and b has the same value. So Python should give us a false result because we are using a not equal to operator, right? So Python will give us a false result that whatever you are comparing actually has equal value. So whatever function that you have given me is actually wrong. So not equal to is not valid here. Okay. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the operator, the use of greater than and less than. So you can use it in this sense, but this particular thing like double greater than and equal to, when you use them together, right? When you use these two together, so this is basically used when you're running a loop. So when we'll be learning about the if loop, for loop, while loop, then we will be studying about how to use these two operands together. So here we just have to see whether greater than and less than, how does it function, right? So here we know that a, so let's say we give the value of b as 20, right? And then we print that a is less than b. So we know that a is obviously less than b. So what is the expected result? That Python will give us an output called as true, because obviously a is less than b. A has value of 10 and b has a value of 20. But what if we change it? We say that a is greater than b. Then obviously Python will give us an output call, saying it is false. That a value of 10 is actual value of a is actually less than the value of b. So therefore this is not a right operand to use here, right? So this is our greater than and less than operand functions. Okay. The third thing that we'll be studying here is called as the less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. So what less than and equal to here means is that, let's say we stuck with the same value and we print saying a is less than and equal to b. Now what this operator less than and equal to here means is that it is not necessary that a has to be less than and equal to b, right? So what this less than equal to means is a can, so basically this consists of two statements. The first statement is saying that a should be less than b, and the second statement is saying that a can be equal to b. So basically you are having two statements here, that is a is either less than b or it is equal to b. So you are joining these two statements with or. So I will I just comment it out saying that a is less than or equal to b, right? So this thing you have to keep in mind. It's an or function. That means if in these two statements, if any one of them is true, Python will give you the output as true. It is not necessary that both of the statements have to be true so that Python will give you a correct answer, right? In both of these statements, even if one statement is true, Python will be saying you the answer is true, right? So what you can do is that you can just write print a less than equal to b, and if you print it, Python will give you an answer true. Why? Because obviously a is not equal to b, so this statement is not correct. But a is less than b, this statement is correct. So Python recognizes this particular statement, that okay, between these two statements, this one is true. So that way I have to give an answer of true. If instead of or it would have been and, right, then the statement would be false. Why? Because A is less than B, but A is not equal to B. So for if an AND function is there, both of the statements have to be true in order for the final verdict to be true, right? If and in the case of OR, if any one of the statement is true, the final output will be true. Let's say if I reverse it, I say A is greater than or equal to B, right? So then again, what Python will say is that Python will go between these two statements, greater than and equal to. So first it will go from greater than. So it will say that, oh, A is not greater than B. That means this statement is false. So then it will jump to the second statement saying that is it equal to B? No, it is also not equal to B. So what should be the output? The output will be false. That is, neither this statement is true nor this statement is true. Therefore, both of the statements are negated, and finally you get what is known as a false statement, right? But let's say I make the value of B as 10, and now I run the statement. So now it will give me a true. Why? Because the first statement is false. That is, A is not greater than B. But the second statement is true. That is, A is equal to B. So that's why it will only consider the second statement and it will give you a true answer. Okay. Is it clear with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next thing that will be coming to is your assignment operators. So basically what assignment operator does is that you are assigning certain values to a variable. So let's say you select a variable A and you give it a particular value as let's say 10. So this is what is known as an assignment. So equal to sign, what this equal to sign does is that equal to sign assigns a value to a particular variable, right? So that is our very first assignment operator, that is equal to, right? The next assignment operator